Bobby Lashley has defended his championship against Seth Rollins. Rollins was only at 50% due to his brutal fight pit match the night before against Riddle, but Lashley can't even celebrate before he gets a painful surprise. Judgment Day strikes, but the question is why? Well, we get the answer very quickly. Balor says Judgment Day has dominated everyone, and now we have another legend in our sights. We took out AJ last night. We took out Ray. And they are on the shelf like their boy Edge, who I made quit like the little bitch that he is. And now, we want some gold. And Bobby, you have what I want. I want that US title. And Rhea, she wants that women's title. And as for Dom and Damien, they are looking at those tag team championships. We are taking over. Judgment Day leave through the crowd, but then it's time for the appearance from the Bloodline on the season premiere of Raw. Roman Reigns is the first to hit the ring, and as Lashley recovers, we get a lot of tension. Lashley leaves the ring. He doesn't need another outnumbering, but his night is far from over. He gets confronted backstage by Balor, Dom and Damien again. And Bobby accepts Balor's challenge for a United States Championship match, but Lashley wants the match next week. Balor says, "You're on, Bob, but just be aware, Judgment Day is coming. And not just from me, but from all of us. We will all see you next week." And Lashley, even after the warning, tries to get at Finn Balor again, but he's outnumbered. He gets put down. Judgment Day have what they want. They've got Lashley down and a United States Championship match next week. But believe it or not, Lashley's night still isn't over. MVP walks in. He helps up Bobby Lashley and he says, "Seems like you're pretty outnumbered. You know, I could offer you some insurance. In the form of, I don't know, a 7+ foot monster. And myself, of course." And Bobby says, "Why the hell would I trust either of you? You two stabbed me in the back. So I think I'll pass." And MVP says, Okay, relax, big man. If you really want to know why you should trust us, it's really simple. Because business is business, Bobby. At least take the time to think about it." It's time for the US title match, and Lashley is clearly outnumbered again. At every single juncture, Lashley gets hit with cheap shots. Dominic takes a turn. Priest gets his in as well. But before she can get involved, Rhea Ripley gets blindsided by Bayley, who has taken offense to her wanting the Raw Women's Championship that she's just won. The chaos then ensues though, because while the referee is distracted by Bayley and Rhea brawling, Priest sneaks in the ring. He hits a South of Heaven on Lashley. And Dominic, who was already poised on the top rope, hits a frog splash as well. Balor goes to the top and he nails a coup de grace. The referee didn't see a thing. Finn Balor gets the pin and the win. Finn Balor is the new United States Champion. Lashley outnumbered again and gets screwed out of his championship. And after the match, Bobby Lashley makes his way backstage, and who does he see? Well, of course, it's MVP. And MVP says, "Damn, business seems to be pretty down for you right now, Bobby. I mean, I tried to warn you, but it's not over. And Lashley cuts him off straight away. He says, "I don't need to hear this from you right now. I can get back on top myself. And just, who is we anyway? More of you that have stabbed me in the back? I don't think so. Is it just you and Omos? What is this?" It's then, though, from behind MVP comes Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. And MVP says, "This is we. We actually struck this deal while we were watching you lose that United States Championship." And from behind, Omos is watching on. He doesn't seem happy, and he just walks off. And then MVP has some parting words for Bobby Lashley. He says, "Listen, Bob, I know you're finding it hard to trust us, but I don't think you can afford not to trust us right now." The week after, Lashley is furious and he wants a rematch. And in his words, he wants a rematch with no more bull. But Balor is quick to come out and he isn't keen at all. He says, absolutely no way. It's back of the line for you now, Bobby. Things have changed around here. No rematches. And another thing that's changed is your fate tonight. Lashley then gets surrounded by Dominic, Priest, and Balor. There's nowhere for Lashley to go. But you know damn well he wants to fight. But remarkably, the Judgment Day back away. Lashley has staved them off. And Lashley says, yeah, you better walk away. But then it becomes apparent why they backed away. Lashley turns around and realizes that behind him is three very familiar faces. MVP takes a moment and says from the apron, it's just business, Bobby. It's just business. We also see Omos watching from backstage on the monitor. He's witnessed this whole ordeal, but again, he does nothing and he walks away. Will he join MVP, Benjamin and Alexander? Or is he still upset that MVP has outsourced help this time? But while questions remain over Omos's intentions, one question that we know the answer to is just how dominant Judgment Day have been. And they still have Bobby Lashley in their sights. Even though Balor has already taken the United States Championship from him, he wants to take even more. Rhea Ripley is in the middle of a match with Dakota Kai. She's dominating like she always does. And MVP decides to take matters into his own hands to convince Bobby Lashley. Immediately though, Priest and Dominic go after them to try and stop them. While all this chaos is going on though, MVP comes face to face with Finn Balor. And Balor says, you might want to step off, old man. This isn't business anymore. It's personal. And Finn rocks him with a shot. The match is continuing in the ring, but just like before, the referee is distracted by the chaos. But unlike before, this does not benefit Judgment Day. Because while the referee is distracted, Bayley and Io Sky take the chance to drop Rhea this time. And Dakota Kai picks up the massive win. And this incenses Balor and Judgment Day. Balor drops MVP. Priest gets on top of Shelton Benjamin. Dom gets on top of Cedric, and it leaves MVP stranded, surrounded. And once again, we see Omos watching on from backstage, and he seems like he's more intent on helping this time. And as he walks towards the entrance, he stops. He sees something in the distance, and he doesn't go out there. But why? We find out. Lashley is here. Priest runs out to get him, but he gets speared. And Dominic runs at him, but he gets speared as well. Lashley hits the ring, and Balor, like the coward that he is, tries to throw MVP in front of him, and Balor is able to dip out of the ring. He avoids coming in contact with Lashley, but Lashley screams at Balor that he wants to face him at Crown Jewel. And he uses a phrase from earlier from Balor. He says, Judgment Day is coming, Finn. And not just from me, but from all of us. We are back in business. The Hurt Business walk to the ring united. They all are face to face with the Judgment Day. MVP's plan has come off perfectly. It's 3-on-3 and it's time to go to war. And the fight is on. And only one team can walk out victorious. And this match is crazy. They hit each other with everything under the sun. Judgment Day looks in trouble. The power of the Hurt Business seems to be too much. We see backstage, Rhea Ripley is starting to panic. She runs towards the entrance, but she's cut off by a figure that we don't get to see in the shot. She looks terrified. She backs away. She doesn't get the chance to interfere. Back in the ring, Balor has fought back. He's looking for a coup de grace on Bobby Lashley, and MVP pushes Balor off the top rope, but he lands on his feet, and he nails him with a gigantic spear, and the Hurt Business pick up the massive win. They win their first match back, but they aren't done for the night.
Here is your winner,
Roman Reigns has defeated Logan Paul in a surprisingly competitive match. He's celebrating the big win, and it's then he's silently approached by a force of nature. It's Bobby Lashley. He paces up to him. He stands in his face,